Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got another video for you guys today. Today we're going to showcase off my favorite color combination in MTG, and that is Dimir. But we're going to take a different approach at it. Instead of the standard control Dimir, we're going to showcase off a Reanimator Dimir deck, which is incredibly fun to play. And I've been playing a lot with this bad boy in the Mythic rank. So let's talk a little bit about it. Cool story about time. We got 4 Concocts and 4 Eldest Reborn, which is the main or the most important cards in this deck because it's what we're building the entire deck list around, right? We want to send big boy creatures to our graveyard and resurrect them via these 2 cards, which we do have 4 copies of each, right? So our big boy dudes include the likes of Dream Eater, Gravewaker, Tessimak, 1 Niv Mizzet, even though we have no source of red mana, but because we have so many ways to resurrect it, we're running it, and 1 Nezahal Primal Tide. So the idea is to have creatures that can matchup, basically help out our matchup against both aggressive and mid-range, more faster decks in general, and control matchups as well. So we have Nezahal and Niv to help us against control, and we have Tessimak to help us against mid-range decks, and Dream Eater just helps us against pretty much everything, as he's like the most important creature in this deck because of his survivability, but also really helpful against aggressive matchups too, right? In order to withstand the early game pressure from aggro decks such as mono red, Boros, Weenies, mono white, and even mono blue tempo, we have 3 copies of Fungal Infection and 3 copies of Golden Demise. I would say that out of all the aggro decks, mono red is probably our worst matchup because Fungal Infection and Golden Demise are extremely efficient against mono white and Boros decks, right? Because they capitalize really well on how they spread out their board, especially being able to counter in a way Knights of History Benalia, and also enabling us to kill the Adanto Vanguard because we bypass Indestructible since we're applying a -X effect, except instead of dealing damage. So these cards enable us to handle that matchup better. But mono red has certain things that can bypass our early game removal, and if we don't get our strategy going on quickly enough, they may just be able to take us out via good top decks, right? Like it's one of the weaknesses this deck has. I think mono red is probably the worst matchup, honestly. But if we're facing, aggro decks, white focused or mono blue tempo, or if we're facing Golgari midrange, I think we have a pretty decent matchup against those. As against the Golgari midrange specifically, we have Tessimak, which is actually really strong, as we can withstand the early game pressure a little bit, survive, and then Primal Death here puts in the massive work. Also, Eldest Reborn is really powerful against them too, and it's not like a super good matchup, but it's a winnable matchup for sure. And against control decks, like I said, we have Niv. The reason we have Niv is to be able to defeat Nexus of Fate decks. Nexus of Fate decks can reach a point in which they can stall us out through combat damage, so Niv is a way to bypass that and finish the job. He's actually like a finisher for that specific matchup. In every other matchup, we just generally want to discard it because not only do we have a bunch of surveil effects that can enable us to send our big creatures to the graveyard, because we, besides Primal Death, we really don't want creatures in our hand. We want them in the graveyard. So we have Discovery, Thought Erasure, alongside Concoct itself to surveil and send, and of course Dream Eater, which is why we're running 3 copies of him, to send creatures to the graveyard so then we can draw into our resurrection cards instead, right? So the idea is to send Niv to the graveyard and not have to ever pay like actual mana to cast them. We resurrect them instead. We have pretty standard package when it comes to Dimir, but one of the reasons why I love Dimir, we run the discard package with Thought Erasure, 1 copy of this information campaign to help us out even more in control matchups, as this card can just snowball like crazy, but we don't want multiple copies of it because it's pretty unreliable versus more aggressive decks. And we have Chemist's Insight. The reason we have Chemist's Insight is not only because of the control matchup, but also because of the Jumpstart keyword. With Jumpstart, we can use Chemist's Insight to discard one of our big boy creatures to enable a resurrection. And because of Chemist's Insight being an instant card, we can even do it the same turn we're going to resurrect something with Eldest Reborn through the proc of the 3rd chapter, for example. And just trying to explain a little bit, how this deck flows and such, and what the concept is, and why I chose every card that I did, right? Like Gravewaker is there for matches that drag out way too much. We have kind of like infinite value with his ability, as we can constantly resurrect stuff from our graveyard by just paying mana, and you know, regardless of our hand size or anything, which can be a pretty nice finisher for, again, games that go too long. Like, that's why I have him. He's not really, doesn't really fulfill any other purpose, really. And you know, that is the deck list right there. I felt like it's well teched against all sorts of strategies, and it's just, like I said, really damn fun to play. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into some games and showcase it off, and hopefully you guys like the build and try it out yourself. So yeah, that's all day, and enjoy the games. Who shall be our first Reanimator victim? Hamutaro-san is our opponent. And we got a pretty decent hand. Like, this is the kind of hand that I want to see with this deck. I want to see my Thought Erasures, my Discoveries, and even at this information campaign. Naturally, I would rather be facing a more control variant of a deck here, rather than an aggro one. Because we're going second, and my hand is more, you know, anti-control. Like, I like my hand, don't get me wrong. Like, I like the fact that I have Thought Erasures and stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I want to see, but in this particular matchup, I need Golden Demise and my Fungal Infections. Fortunately for us, there's no 2-drop to follow that up, so we're going to go with the Thought Erasure, take a look at his hand, and see what's up. Alright, so we're going to deny the History of Benalia, naturally. We're going to send the Gravekeeper, the Gravewalker to the graveyard, because that's where we want him. Now we have an Eldritch Reborn target, and next turn, we will be playing another Thought Erasure to get rid of the Heroic Reinforcements. Alright. So we definitely need Golden Demise at this stage, but we can survive for now. He has Settle the Wreckage in a deck like this. That's a little bit odd to me. I guess for like mirrors? That's interesting. Regardless, we're gonna Thought Erasure here. We're gonna take out the Heroic Reinforcements. This card is very, very dangerous. We're gonna Surveil in the process. We're gonna get rid of that land because we need to draw into our removal. Because even though there's only 2 units right there, we are taking quite a bit of damage from them. I mean, we have an Eldritch Reborn, so if we don't draw something right now, then we may as well just... Okay, so we're going to take 5 more. I mean, we may as well... We could Discovery Dispersal, though, because he's just going to discard the... Yeah, we're going to go with this. Because we could draw into a Fungal Infection with this. We can dream. We can hope. Because Fungal Infection will enable us to clear this board for just 1 mana. So instead of playing this Information Campaign and having to discard a Settle the Wreckage, we are going to go with that. Our opponent is... Okay. There it is! Well, thank God. Thank the Lord. I'm not particularly religious, but thank him. Thank him forever. It's funny how 1 mana card can just... disrupt this board completely. Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright. We're in it, boys. We're not gonna get killed. I think our opponent did maybe a little bit AFK, or like, I don't know. He's playing a Boros Weenie deck, right? It doesn't require your full attention. So he may just be, I don't know, checking out his favorite TV show, or watching Netflix or something, or talking with his sister. Something. Because the reason why he's roping so much is because of the Anto Vanguard's, you know, active ability here. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. See, another Heroic Reinforcements there would have been devastating. That's how you win, you know? With a 1 mana card. Alright, not really showcasing off the deck here, but at least I did showcase off the fact that, you know, we can survive against faster, aggressive decks. Right, so Dark Death is our next opponent, and we have, again, a pretty decent looking hand, but if we're facing a very aggressive deck, because we're going second, this deck is more vulnerable in that scenario. Like, there's a big difference this deck has between going first and second, because a lot of times you need that extra turn, right, to get going. We do have the Testament Megak, but we're going second against Mono Red, and that in itself is already a problem. We have Golden Demise, so we have tools to try to stay alive here. We need to try to Thought Erasure Stuff like Goblin Chain Whirler, the Experimental Frenzy. Things that will bypass our Golden Demise, basically, is what we need to target here. So if he has a Goblin Chain Whirler, then we definitely have to target that. He may have a Lightning Strike here, and he just wants to go face with it, or a Shock. See, Legion War Boss is fine. Goblin Chain Whirler is not. Could use that just in case. We get rid of the Goblin Chain Whirler there, but not the Legion War Boss, because we want him to play the Legion War Boss. Yep. Because this fucker is vulnerable to this. And now, just like that, we wipe out his board. There we go. Alright, we're down to 9, but our opponent is top decking, so I'm just gonna go with this just to surveil. And we're gonna keep that land there. Alright, so I would like to concoct, because at the very least I'll surveil, right? But if I find the creature, that'll be bingo. Fuck. Alright, so let's get rid of this, let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of this, because we want to be able to draw into a land that actually enters the board tapped. Oh boy. Not the kind of shit we need, buddy. Alright. Let's just go Primal Death. Get that 6/6 in there just to have a thick boy to block him. And hopefully he doesn't top deck an Experimental Frenzy and kill us from the stage. Alright, good. Good stuff. Good stuff. We're gonna discard Niv because we can never play Niv. We always have to resurrect Niv, so let's just get that done. Let's get the card draws going. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands, which means that we can't really do much more. But we need to put a timer on him already. So we're gonna attack with Tessima. We have the Dream Eater. We don't need to go in the Demise here. Just bait him to attack. Yeah, this is our best line of play. We get to surveil now. We send this. This. We can send the Dream Eater. Oh, we'll send everything to the graveyard. I'll send that. Because I know that if I target the Fanatical Firebrand, he'll just trade it with my Dream Eater. Maybe I want that to happen. To be quite frank with you. I'm gonna play, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna put him on the clock here. I'm gonna attack with both. I'm gonna play Nezal here. He's literally top decking at this stage, but we are at 6 health. We need to decline that. For a second there, I thought we were dead. Okay, so we just need to do this. Take a look at his hand. Okay. There's a trick. And, okay, so we have a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. I mean, we still kill him, right? But clean. Clean, baby. Taking down mono red. Feels good, man. Feels good. There we go. There we go. I want to showcase off actual like resurrection synergies more though, because this was all about like kind of like playing my dudes from my hand, and that's okay. But you know, I want to reanimate shit. That's what you know this deck is all about. So let's get more games. Alrighty. We're playing mulligan once already. I'm gonna keep this hand. We have the Eldest Reborn. We have Golden Demise in case our opponent has, you know, a pretty aggressive deck. An island could mean several things. It could mean Dimir control. It could mean Jeska. Probably Dimir control. So naturally, us having Thought Erasure is beneficial in this matchup. We don't need this. We do need that though. We need to make sure that we can curve out effectively. Search for a Scant on curve is threatening though. But no Thought Erasures to begin with is nice. Alright, seems he wanted to make sure he had a hand as well. Unmoored Ego. Alright, somebody main decking Unmoored Ego. That's tough. We can just get rid of our Eldest Reborns. And that is quite devastating. That is very devastating. Like, getting rid of our Eldest Reborns is like a big component of our strategy here. And he just completely denied it. We're gonna make him think that we may have a counter spell because we are Dimir as well. And like from what he's seen from our hand, there's not much that would make him think otherwise. Alright, sorry, Corrosion. So Dimir Mill? Dimir Mill, ladies and gentlemen. Dimir Mill. I want to play the Doom Whisper, honestly. Can't really counter this with one land. And what Doom Whisper will enable us to do is apply pressure and also fill up our graveyard potentially so that we can resurrect stuff with Concoct here. Though he's kind of doing that for us as well with this mill strategy. Right, at least that's not another Unmoored Ego, because if he got rid of our Concocts, then he kind of like denies our resurrection game entirely. And that's really not good. He discards the Dream Eater when I have Concoct in my hand. Alright, we're gonna apply this. Searching for those Thought Erasures. There we go. I'm actually gonna apply this again. Beautiful. Alright, let's take a look, shall we? Okay. We gotta draw that before he discards it with Psychic Corrosion. So we gotta play the Chemist's Insight there. Okay, he discards Niv Mizzet, which is great for us. That's fantastic for us. Because now we can revive him. We have a total of 5-7 mana, which means we can do Thought Erasure. Getting rid of this. And we concoct, baby! Let's get rid of that there. Let's get rid of you. I mean, these two are going to go to the graveyard anyway, so we may as well keep it like this. I'm gonna attack first. And then I'm gonna play Nezzo. Because Nezahal and Niv combined is like the dream team. The question is how many, because if we had a... Okay, there's 1 fungal infection, 2 fungal infections. I believe I run 3, right? So there's still a chance that I can draw... Interesting. We gotta be careful we don't get milled. Does he have, like... What does he have in his hand other than this? Why didn't he not go for the Eldritch Reborn? Okay, so we have a total of 3, 4, 5, 8 mana. 9 mana, which means we can still concoct and do that. So we're gonna attack first. Okay. Alright. Let him surveil. I'm gonna discard this. Alright. Sorry, I went like super focused there, making sure everything was correct. We hit him for 5. We drop this land. We can connive concoct here. And with connive concoct, We can Dispersal, return the Side Corrosion to his hand. And he either gives up on the mill, or he gives up on the Eldest Reborn. Because he has to discard one of the two. And we put him in a position where he just forfeits. Alright, I got a bit focused in that game. But I think that was a pretty good one, you know? Interesting deck. It's not the first time I faced it, because I've been playing a little bit of Mythic, trying out decks and stuff, and I faced a deck like that before. I don't know if it's like a thing right now, like Dimir with Mill. I don't know if it's like trying to count or something, but it's pretty interesting. I'm definitely seeing like more interesting decks here in the Mythic rank. So let's go for another one. Unfortunately, this hand is a little bit too low on mana. Because I do like the double Golden Demise, but I am going to mulligan this. That is much better. Thought Erasure and Discovery in hand. Also Fungal Infection in case we're facing an aggressive deck. And more lands to draw into, which I don't dislike, right? Well, I can search for more lands if that's the case. I mean, I could have lit off with the Swamp to enable the Fungal Infection here. But I'd rather get that out of the way. Okay, let's play the Swamp now. Let's get some look at what he's running here. Okay, so we're facing Golgari, mid-range. I mean, Wall Growth Walker is nice to get rid of, but so is Vivien Raid. We don't really handle Wall Growth Walker too well, though. And for Vivien, we can always draw into an Eldest Reborn. I think discarding this is better, even though Find can definitely capitalize on that, but... Because now we're going to go for Discovery, and we're going to try to fish for our good stuff here. Okay, so 2 good cards to have, naturally. So we'll keep them. Gonna drop the Drowned Catacomb here. Because we can Thought Erasure the Vivien now. That was also like one of my thoughts there. Like if he didn't... Okay. Let's go for it now. Ah, Finality. Very important card to get rid of. But he is going to be able to curve out into Vivien, and we don't really have an answer for it as of right now, so we have to like just get rid of her. I mean, getting a land here could be quite important. It enables me to go for Concoct here. Yeah, not getting rid of the Find is kind of an issue. Because it's a very, you know, powerful card. But he wants to get the full value out of it, which is fine. We're gonna just chill here. Just gonna drop our land, make sure that we have the Concoct enabled. But because we've yet to like actually have any other surveil effects effectively send stuff to the graveyard in the form of big creatures, we're not gonna go for Concoct yet. We're not gonna risk it. Alright. We're gonna go for the Fungal Infection just to trade off with that. And now we can actually connive to steal this. Yeah. Come closer, my child. You're mine. All mine. Unfortunately, we ran out of steam. Like, we're in top deck mode right now, but we have some very powerful shit to top deck into, so we are gonna Fungal Infection this as well. That's one of the coolest things about Fungal Infection against Golgari midrange. It's good enough to deal with that. Seems like he's gonna keep that. Like he should. I mean, he already has one in hand, though. Now, unfortunately, I am, like I said, at the mercy of his top decks there. And he's just gonna keep that Find there. I mean, he can board wipe me, too, next turn if he wants to. Instead of like, you can use one to return both of them, you can use the other one too. Yeah, you can use that one, and the next one, like, you can use to board wipe me. I am gonna use this to try to start surveilling and getting some good stuff in there. Okay, see, that's what I want to see. That's the kind of shit I want to see. May as well smork him a little bit. He could just finality me if he has another land available. But he opts to score instead, which I like as a play. Ooh, double. Eldest Reborn is quite powerful here. Unfortunately, we cannot attack quite yet. He could try to go for a finality, or he could just use it to find again. He could just play another, yeah, the Doom Whisper. I mean, he has to discard one of the two now. I will gladly block this. He can trade with the Walker with Walker. I know he has a fine finality. That's what he wants to do. But that enables me to actually get the Eldest Reborn going on here. And kill this Doom Whisper, which is very, very impactful. He has to discard. He's probably going to discard the Vraska's Contempt there. And I can just play another one. Will you surveil again? Alright. This is great for us. Okay, he's keeping something on top there. Vivian would be a little bit annoying. I'm gonna keep this in my hand just to, you know, play some mind games on him. Right, little shrooms, hit him face. And we got two Eldest Reborns proccing here. If he plays Vivian, unless he finds another land, he can find as well. No, he can't just find, period. Okay, Assassin's Trophy. Alright. Alright, that does help me thin my deck a little bit, but that sucks naturally, right? But it could be worse. The cool thing is that if he finds here, he will basically only use find for one card. So, Eldest Reborn is also hindering his... like, he can use find, for example... Well, he could. He could technically use find and return Doom Whisper and that and discard that. Yeah, he can do that. Which is a pretty good play. Or just high rolling the fuck out of it. That was not a good play. There we go. Easy. Easy! Let's drop this. Nice! Disinformation campaign. Oh, that was super greedy on his part though. Like, holy shit. Oh, good. Drag, son. Nice. Did I showcase off any sort of resurrection? I mean, I showcased off the power of Eldest Reborn. I mean, Connive was pretty good there. But did I showcase off like the actual? Right. I'm gonna try to go for another game. I'm gonna try to like showcase off the actual like resurrection synergy because I feel like I've won either games with my big dudes or with like just straight up. I mean. I'm putting conceded before I could do anything, which is, you know, important to know, right? Alright, let's move into this. This hand is pretty damn decent. Let's send Dimir to the bottom, though. We don't need it so early on. Alright. We got triple Thought Erasure. That has to be good here. We're going to get to expect again and again. Alright. I'm going to lead off with the Swamp to enable the Fungal Infection just in case. But now we're going to go with this. And these lands that will enter the board tapped, we can play afterwards because we're going to be having 2 mana plays consecutively. He could have a Spell Pierce here. But he does not, and we are going to be taking away the Sinister Sabotage. So he's playing Jeska. And we can send that to the graveyard. We already have 2 lands in hand. We're bound to draw more. I could have denied him the opt, but getting rid of the Sabotage is better because he's going to have 3 mana next turn anyways. So I'm going to be able to Thought Erasure again. I don't need to worry too much about the Seal Aways for now, even though they're quite a bit of a nuisance. Like, if I have nothing better to discard, I'll definitely be happy about discarding them because I do focus on creatures, right? Like, I may be a control deck. I'm not really a control deck. I'm a Reanimator deck, so... yeah. I mean, Thought Erasures for days. Let's go for another one. Let's get rid of the Seal Aways. Let's get rid of this. And let's play that Submerged Boneyard in there. Let's go on our way. We got more, baby. Like, we got more. I mean, let's go at it again. Denied. And why not just take away the Seal Away as well? And run through our lands. Unfortunately, we're not able to surveil anything here. But we're both pretty much top decking at this stage, and we keep top decking lands though. Like, we've surveilled so many lands away, but we still draw them. And our opponent draws it to the Teferi. Anyways, you know, sometimes that happens. Sometimes, you know, you just don't quite top deck well. I mean, I could have preserved 1 Thought Erasure, to be fair, but I wanted to surveil as well. And like I said, Seal Aways are kind of a problem. But hey, just please don't have a counter for this. Okay, there we go. Easy, easy peasy. Enough. No, don't tell me what to do. He has Excellence Binding here. That would be a problem. I mean, he drew Teferi, I top deck Eldest Reborn. I think that's fair, especially considering I surveilled so much. Like, I surveilled like 1 billion lands. Okay, that opt makes me a little bit nervous because, again, Excellence Binding would be a bit of an issue here. Because not being able to play more Eldest Reborns, oh god. Oh no. What is that? Leave my Eldest Reborn alone, please. Leave it be. I don't like the fact that he kept that in the top of his deck. Because that means that he... like, he needs something very impactful here to answer to this Eldest Reborn. He's on the clock, so the fact that he kept whatever he was gonna like draw with Opt right there. We have a dead card in hand. Like, Fungal Infection serves no purpose in this matchup. It's just it's a blank. The highlight of this card in this matchup would be when I draw a Chemist's Insight and I jumpstart and discard it. But even then, I want to jumpstart, discard, you know, a creature, right? So this is as if I have no hand whatsoever. So, oh god. Yeah, that's the kind of shit I do not want to see. All right, so a search for a Scanta. All right, so we have to hope that he doesn't top deck anything of use here, so that we can get Teferi and return that to the bottom of the deck. To a certain position of his deck, right? So we can draw it to another Eldest Reborn and then we can be fine, right? We're gonna take the hit here, but we have to steal Teferi. And we have to use Teferi aggressively.
Sorry I'm late. You need to take time out.
We're going to use Chemist's Insight here to draw.
You'll thank me later. You need to slow down.
That's a bit of a problem. But Nezal here is our hope.
We need to move quickly.
Oh god, these draws are nutty. Okay, so I need an Eldest Reborn here. Or a Dream Eater? Okay, so there we go. That's the kind of shit I need. Okay, so how about my graveyard here? I think these Concocts don't really do it for us, so we're gonna just get rid of all that. But keep that Eldest Reborn over there. We're gonna return that to his hand.
Stop that. Now.
We're gonna kill Teferi. Because we want our Eldest Reborn here. We know if he has a counter, it has to be a negate. Like, that's the only possible thing, because he couldn't even answer to Dream Eater. So, if he plays Niv again, then he needs a land plus, these need to be a land and negate. That's the only way he can counter my incoming Eldest Reborn. And Nezahal here applies a lot of pressure, because it's my anti-control card. So, this is the perfect matchup for it. And Eldest Reborn is also extremely powerful here, right? Dream Eater definitely put in the work there, like slowed him down. Like it's all working out well. And if we get the Eldritch Reborn to proc, we put him in a really tough position here. Like every time he plays a non-creature spell, like Teferi for example, I draw a card too. There you go. There you go, baby. And not even Spell Pierce does it. Oh! Forfeit incoming in 3, 2, 1. Or that. He's a fighter. Oh! Beautiful. And the surveil came in so key right there. I think this is a good game. I don't know if we resurrected our old dude, but we, you know, I think I showcased, I made my point with the deck, basically. I tried at least. It's a fun deck to play, man. Dimir is great. And Concoct is just such a fun card. And we got him, boys. And we fucking got him. There we go. Alright. So leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you enjoyed the deck, check it out yourselves and try it out, and all that goodness. Have a all day. Subscribe for more daily MTG content, and, you know, home brews and all that goodness. And I'll see you guys around.